All right, ladies, there's probably a time or two that you have sneezed or coughed and unfortunately had a little accident. Pregnancy and childbirth are the most common causes of urinary incontinence in women, but thanks to new laser options like the Mona Lisa Touch, you can sneeze or cough without worry. Dr. Lauren Frankel of Palmetto Women's Health has more. Doctor, pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
It's something we don't often talk about, but I think it's something that affects a lot of women, correct? So what are the conditions or events that kind of lead us to this problem?
So there's many. The biggest one would be childbirth and big babies, but obesity can lead to it. Anything that puts pressure on the bladder. The more babies you have, the more trauma to the area. And sometimes, unfortunately, no reason at all.
Yeah.
Just some people, it's a problem that they have.
As I said, it's not something that we typically speak about, I should say, but I would probably be surprised at how many women it affects.
You
correct?
would be surprised. Probably at least 50% of my patients have some sort of incontinence.
Wow.
And if you don't ask people, you don't realize how much. People, even to me, are afraid to bring it up.
Yeah.
So, and there's different types. So some people will have incontinence because their bladder has dropped.
Okay.
So when they cough or sneeze, the fascia that usually keeps the bladder protected is not there, so cough and now comes the urine. And then other women will have something called detrusor instability, where out of nowhere they just lose urine with no warning.
Okay.
Or
so it's not sparked by anything, just the need to go to the bathroom.
The bladder gets filled and it contracts, and then there are the people who have to know where every bathroom in the store is.
Oh no.
And sometimes are afraid to leave the house.
Yeah. It's a horrible way to live, and we've established the problem. So now the good news is you're here because you can help it. What can you do to help the situation?
Right. So up until recently, really, women were kind of stuck because they could either only take medicines that have terrible side effects, or for stress incontinence, when you cough or sneeze, surgeries. And everybody's seen all the malpractice on the bladder meshes, and typically the repairs that were done, they don't last very long. So having a laser now is something completely different and new, but is probably, in what I've seen so far, more effective than any surgery or any medicine.
Okay, so the laser is called the Mona Lisa Touch, and how does it work? You know, what are the benefits of using this laser?
So it's a very simple procedure. It's a vaginal probe that is inserted and makes micro laser burns all throughout the vagina. It kind of tricks the body. The body says, whoa, there's something going on here. Let's get the immune system and all our good cells in. And so it takes a very thin vaginal mucosa and bladder mucosa and brings in a whole new blood supply, and really makes everything work so much better, and also stimulates new collagen so that the prolapse or the dropped bladder actually can pull up. And then most people will say with stress incontinence after their first treatment, they're completely dry.
Wow. And it says we've got some of the benefits, and it's an in-office procedure, no anesthesia, it's virtually painless, and there's no downtime as well?
Yep, it takes less than 5 minutes.
5 minutes, wow. And this has been going on since 2012. Thousands of women have been treated?
In our country. This has been in Europe for well over 10 years. We're a little behind because of the FDA and getting approval. But yeah, so there's never been a single bad outcome. I mean, there's really,
that's great.
There's nothing that can go wrong.
So the next step, to call you to contact for, you know, just to talk about it and see if you're a candidate, correct?
Right, and you can come in and we can talk about it. There's no charge for the consultation, and I can kind of sit down and, you know, it's individualized for different people. The laser also has an external probe for other conditions. So,
and you guys right now, when you call and you mention this Low Country Live segment, you're giving 10% off your procedure if you're a candidate. That's wonderful.
Correct.
Thank you. Such a pleasure to have you today.
Thanks for having
Call
me.
for your consult today. Get 10% off a procedure just by mentioning Low Country Live, PalmettoWomen'sHealth.com. Right now, though, we're going to send it over to Tom.